So I've got a very fun question right here that I really like. This one comes from YouTube user Samuel Lloyd 2540, who says, "Hey Farron, I'm pretty young, but I am obsessed with political history. It's my major. I'm curious about how did John Kerry lose the 2004 election? You lived through that election, and I was there when I was 3 when Kerry ran. Why do you think he and John Edwards lost to that idiot Bush?" First and foremost, thank you for making me feel ancient. Because you're like, I was 3, but you were there. Yeah. Thanks, man. Really the boost I needed today for my self-confidence. Like, hey, you're old enough to remember this. Yeah, I am. I mean, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. It was 21 years ago. But anyway, yes, I was actually working in progressive media right here at Ring of Fire for that election. And, there's lots of different reasons why John Kerry didn't win that election. I think first and foremost, obviously, we were 3 years past 9/11. And for most of us in this country, it felt like it just happened the day before. Okay. The sting of 9/11, if you were not alive for it, you really can't grasp how much that changed the world. Again, not just the United States, the world. And, we do have this younger generation, and I see a lot of 9/11 jokes on social media these days and on Reels, Instagram, all that. But y'all really have no idea. In an instant, in the blink of an eye, our lives changed forever. Everything about this country changed forever. Everything about the world changed forever. And the folks who were not around for that, just there's no way you can grasp that unless you go through it. The closer you were to the tragedies, physical proximity or emotional proximity, it was far worse. So with that in mind, we're only 3 years after 9/11 when the 2004 election happened. We're in the middle of this so-called war on terror where there's, a threat behind every corner. Everybody was still on edge. Everybody was still scared. And when you're in that position, you are less likely to change leadership. And that is one of the things that the Republican, candidate George W. Bush, his campaign said repeatedly, like, you don't change horses midstream. Folks, we're in the middle of a war on terror. We know what's going on. We've been there since day one. You really want to go with this guy who hasn't been there from the start? Even though John Kerry was, in fact, a veteran, which they actually ended up turning against him with the Swift Boat Veterans for Truth, attacking John Kerry's military record when George W. Bush never even served. That played a role in it. There was also the role that John Kerry was just this wealthy elitist from the Northeast. He's lived a life of luxury. Oh, look at this man looking down upon you. Whereas I'm just this guy from Texas, right? I'm just this down-home guy. I'm just clearing woods out of my property. Yeah. George Bush was the guy you wanted to have a beer with. That's where that whole thing basically came from. You don't want to have a beer with John Kerry. He probably only drinks champagne. Whereas George W. Bush had a history of alcoholism and drug abuse. He was the down-earth guy. He was the guy taking out Al-Qaeda long before ISIS existed. So all of that played into this. The elitism, the attacks on these, elite East Coast liberals, excuse me. And that's where a lot of that came from and still exists today. And mostly it was the war on terror. I think if I really had to put a nail in it, it's the war on terror. Americans were terrified. They knew Bush had already been doing it for 3 years. May as well stick with him because we haven't had any major attacks since 9/11. So let's just keep on going, even though he lies to us every day. Unfortunately, I think that's what happened. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.